I know what you're gonna say. She's my sister and I should be trying to get along with her.
No, she's crazy and she needs to go down.
Hey, what's up everyone, it's Ryan here from The Y, and today we're gonna be taking a look at Avatar: The Last Airbender. Whether you consider the show to be a cartoon or an anime, there's really nothing else like it. The combination of world building, humor, and topics rarely explored in series made for kids is the reason it still is popular today, even all these years later. With the third and final season, one of Avatar's long-standing mysteries was finally unveiled. What exactly happened to Kya, or Katara, and Sokka's mother? If you'll recall, the Fire Nation had been for many decades conducting raids on the Southern Water Tribe in the hopes of rounding up all known waterbenders. As this continued over the years, the number of waterbenders dwindled until Hama, the last of her kind, was finally captured. Fast forward to 94 AG, Commander Yon-Ra launches one final raid. Based on intel, there was still a remaining waterbender. During the attack, Ra confronts Kya, demanding to know who the bender is. And in an effort to protect Katara, Kya lies and says she's the one he's looking for. Without so much as hesitating, Ra executes her on the spot.
I'm afraid I'm not taking prisoners today.
Here's what's confusing. Why did Yon-Ra feel the need to kill her? I understand it's a plot device used to bring more emotion to Katara and Sokka's backstory, but the in-universe explanation is a bit more shrouded in mystery. Remember, the Fire Nation did take people alive, and they even built an entire prison designed specifically to house waterbenders. And Kya fully expected to be sent there along with everyone else.
It's me. Take me as your prisoner.
I guess it's possible that Commander Ra decided to kill her on his own accord. Yet I find that really hard to believe. The Southern Raiders were under direct control of Fire Lord Azulon, and seeing as how their culture is big on duty, honor, and respect, it's much more likely that Yon-Ra was just following orders. Which is noteworthy because what brought about the drastic change from imprisoning the waterbenders to outright killing them? I'm not sure who originally came up with this idea, but it stands to reason that it can all be traced back to Hama and her creation of bloodbending. So as you know, Hama invented the highly specialized technique of bloodbending to escape the prison, and after many years of practice, finally succeeded. The thing is, she's never shown actually killing any of the guards. So think about what this leads to. The escape is most certainly investigated. The prison guard tells the higher-ups that he had no control over his body and was forced to unlock her cell. To be fair, at first glance, this does give off vibes of My Dog Ate My Homework. Though when you consider who the prisoners were, the sub-skills that had already been discovered, and the fact that it was a full moon, the Fire Nation's definitely smart enough to figure things out. I can see their reaction being something on the order of, oh shit, this is a problem. Because contemplate for a second how terrifying bloodbending actually is. You're literally taking over another person's body and making them carry out your will. It's no wonder bloodbending is widely considered the darkest, most feared, and strongest out of all the techniques, along with being the only known style to be completely banned. Now you can understand why the Fire Nation wasn't taking any more waterbenders prisoner. I mean, it was difficult enough running a prison with all the precautions around water, and now there was a bender who could take over people's bodies? In short, the woman who reminded Katara of home and Gran was indirectly responsible for the death of her own mother.
Congratulations, Katara. You're a bloodbender.
Without a doubt, Uncle Iroh is one of the best written characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender, whether it be the way he plays off the hot-headed Zuko.
Why don't you enjoy a cup of calming jasmine tea?
I don't need any calming tea!
His infinitely wise sage advice.
I don't want to make a life here.
Life happens wherever you are, whether you make it or not.
The heartbreaking backstory.
Leaves from the vine.
Or even his transformation into a jacked monster. He lit up every scene he was in. Last but not least, is there anyone who loves tea more than Uncle Iroh?
Sick of tea? That's like being sick of breathing.
And while you might assume that Iroh loved tea for its pleasant taste and relaxing nature, there's actually a deeper meaning behind it all. Uncle Iroh's love for tea making is a symbolic representation of his philosophy on life. To fully understand what this means, here's Uncle Iroh summing up his viewpoint nicely.
Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nations will help you become whole.
So by understanding the other elements and therefore nations, you not only become more powerful, but also more compassionate and empathetic towards all people, leading to a more harmonious world. Now let's take those words and apply them to making tea. Much like you have to gain an understanding of the other elements for peace. Those same elements are necessary to make tea. Fire for heating up the water, earth is represented by the tea leaves or in the cups that hold the tea, air to create the fire and cool off the tea, and water for, well, the tea water. Remove any of those elements and you simply don't have tea, at least not anything that Iroh would drink.
This tea is nothing more than hot leaf juice.
Uncle, that's what all tea is.
The great thing about this symbolism is that it doesn't just apply to Uncle Iroh, as it even extends to Zuko. The first time we see Zuko making tea, the effort is appreciated, but let's just say it's a few steps below even hot leaf juice. Not long after, he begins work at the tea shop, and the ensuing episodes see him undergoing a complete metamorphosis, ending with him releasing Appa. And while the tea itself might be purely symbolic in regard to his change, I can also see the tea making process as having a real impact on his development. How many teas do you think Zuko made during his tenure there? Hundreds, probably thousands. I imagine that over time, Zuko must have gleaned some of his uncle's wisdom surrounding tea and the connection to his overall philosophy. One of the best examples I can point to occurs right after Zuko takes a huge step in releasing Appa. The following sickness and inner turmoil is accompanied with, that's right, good old tea. Okay, I know that people drink tea when they're sick and all, but it's still a good metaphor. And while he temporarily reverts back to the fireside, when Zuko crosses over to the good side once and for all and they finally accept him,
Hello, Zuko here.
the first thing he does is serve the group tea. For some unknown reason, every avatar has an animal guide. Avatar Roku had Fang the dragon, Aang, Appa the sky bison, and Korra, Naga the polar bear dog. But what if Appa, while seemingly Aang's guide, actually shared the position with Momo? Let's quickly go over exactly what animal guides represent in the world of avatars. Like I said, every avatar has one. They act as friends, even teachers at times, and they're spiritually bonded to the avatar at a young age and stay connected in both life and death. And while Appa definitely checks all those boxes, Momo does as well, and in some ways I'd say fits even better.
That lemur, he's earthbending.
No, you idiot, it's the girl.
Okay, so technically, Aang didn't bond with Momo at a young age, cause if you want to be literal, he's 112 years old. But no one really views it in that way. In my eyes, Aang had two lives. One from when he's born to the iceberg, and the next starting 100 years later when he's reborn into a new world. And immediately after reawakening, Aang travels to the Southern Air Temple, alerts the world to the Avatar's return, and lo and behold, look who's there to greet him. This meeting definitely feels like it was meant to be, and these words from Monk Gyatso all but prove that to be true.
Air Temple Sanctuary. Inside, you will meet someone who will guide you on your journey.
Interestingly enough, early iterations saw Momo as the reincarnated spirit of Monk Gyatso, and although it didn't end up coming true, I think it still means something in the sense of how they viewed him as more than simply Momo the lemur. But perhaps the most convincing evidence pointing towards Momo also being Aang's guide occurs in the last couple of episodes. Obviously, these were the most crucial and trying times of Aang's entire journey, and Momo was the only person or animal there by his side throughout everything, including when Aang subconsciously walks to the lion turtle, talks to the previous avatars,
I'm going to pretend I didn't pretend to hear that.
and decides what to do. Just listen to what Boomy says about the pair.
Where's Momo? So long as they have each other, I'm sure we have nothing to worry about.
And this isn't the first time that Boomy's hinted at the importance of Momo.
You'll need your friends to help you defeat the Fire Nation. And you'll need Momo, too.
So, whether Momo is the reincarnated spirit of Monk Gyatso or not, he and Aang are inseparable from the time they meet all the way up to the final battle.
Momo, time for you to go.
And as such, how can you not call him Aang's animal guide? But like I said previously, this doesn't mean Appa isn't a guide also. In my opinion, Momo and Appa share the title and each fulfill different roles to make the group whole. Appa is more the traditional animal guide with his ability to airbend and defend against all comers. Yet Momo fills a different need, more related to spirituality, listening to Aang, and being the comic relief in times of stress. The Avatar possesses two qualities that separate them from everyone else. They're the only ones able to bend all four elements, and additionally, the only person known to reincarnate upon death. So with reincarnation, you inevitably get into the discussion of, are all the avatars the same person? As I understand it, each avatar is considered a unique individual, but at the same time, inextricably connected by way of the same soul. We see this with their ability to recall memories of past lives, and even in rare cases, are able to manifest through the current avatar's body. This got me thinking, while every avatar is one of a kind, what if there is some kind of overlap between iterations? As it certainly feels like, whether it be sorting out past mistakes or regrets, or in some cases a balancing of personalities, the previous avatar has some degree of influence on their successor. Let's begin with Avatar Yang Chen. She was thought of as extremely devoted, wise, and willing to do whatever was necessary to keep the peace. Her one regret was that she always favored humans over spirits, which weighed on her in the afterlife. In contrast, the next avatar, Kuruk, was laid back and open-minded. In some ways, he made up for Yang Chen's perceived failures, as he spent a large portion of his time fighting dark spirits, though at the cost of neglecting human affairs. Because of this, society viewed Kuruk as a failure, with his one regret being that he didn't shape his own destiny.
If I had been more attentive and more active, I could have saved her.
Avatar Kyoshi followed Kuruk, and again, in many facets, they were polar opposites. Considered a highly effective avatar, Kyoshi's determination ushered in an era of peace and prosperity. If she regretted anything, it was being a bit too proactive in creating the Dai Li, differing from Kyoshi's policy of true justice and a hands-on approach. Avatar Roku was described as passive and merciful. Obviously, this came to bite him in the ass, and in the afterlife, Roku criticized his own indecisiveness.
If I had been more decisive and acted sooner, I could have stopped Sozin.
Even though Aang similarly battled with doing what needed to be done, in the end, he pulled through and cleaned up Roku's mistakes. That includes defeating a volcano and saving a village when weak-ass Roku died of some fumes and let his village burn. Jokes aside, you'd have to say Aang's biggest regret was abandoning his people and feeling responsible for the genocide.
You ran away, and then the Fire Nation attacked our temple. My people needed me and I wasn't there to help.
Lastly, we have Avatar Korra. Personality-wise, I'll just have Lin highlight the difference.
I can't believe your sweet-tempered father was reincarnated into that girl. She's tough as nails.
And of course, as Aang's biggest regret centered on the Airbender genocide, Korra brought them back during the harmonic convergence. Hopefully now you see what I'm getting at. Every new avatar solves their predecessor's mistakes or regrets, and even their personalities seem to go through somewhat of a balancing effect. So if I had to guess, the Earth avatar following Korra will be more chilled out and end up restoring the link to the past avatars. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Alright, till next time, have a great day everyone.